And recording. All right, welcome to UAT Game Studios. Milestone Review number 2. We are welcoming our distributed team members as well. Everybody say hello this morning.
Hello.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Derek Clark.
This sounded like how I feel.
Take it away.
All right, I'm going to try to keep my part quick today because we do have to get through a lot. Just as a reminder, November 10th, we are planning on doing the Studio Game Jam. So both to work on studio games and to invite teams to work on prototypes for the Greenlight event, which will take place in week 15. As of right now, we are looking to split the Greenlight and the Celebration event into 2 different events. Most likely, about 99% sure, the Celebration event, so your guys' presentation of what you completed this term, will take place on December 7th, a Thursday. It's the same as SIP Day. So we're going to combine with that and just kind of do a full-on, these are all awesome projects that got done, both SIP and Game Studios. And then we'll do the pitch stuff the week after, week 15. So kind of pseudo-mark your calendars there. Also, if you want to mark your calendars on 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, Wednesday, December 12th, they're looking to do potentially an award ceremony, a campus-wide award ceremony. So if that happens, we'll probably also move our award part over to that as well and do it there. So that's kind of dates to keep in mind. Is November 10th a Friday?
Yes.
Or Thursday?
Yeah, it's a Friday.
We've been debating on making it a 48 or a 72-hour game jam. A lot of teams will probably meet up like on Thursday night. That way you can start working on Friday. The nice part about this jam is it's not like we have to get together officially on Friday night and announce the theme and stuff like that. Right? This is built to work on what you're already working on. So you don't have to have a lot of that formality. So that's taking place. Just some notes for today. We got displaced. Sorry about that. We have a lot to do today with your sprint planning. So we are going to have a leads meeting, but we're probably going to forego just for today the discipline meetings unless somebody needs something, right? Come and grab one of us, we'll be here. But you've got plenty of sprint planning and stuff to do. So we'll try to give you back that time. But if you need us, again, we're here. Come and grab us. We can meet in small groups or one-on-one if needed. Also, I think Lynn sent out some information on it. There's like 4 o'clock-ish. We're going to look to do some testing. And we will talk about that in the leads meeting to kind of finish that up and answering questions there. I think that covers most of it. I want to get right into the builds. So, anything from Lynn or Hugh that I missed?
Mevo streaming today?
Yep, we are trying a new technology. There's a camera called the Mevo that is linked to an iPad or some kind of tablet. I think it's a little mini iPad. It might be an Android, I can't remember. You're going to see it placed throughout the building throughout the day, and then it just tracks the tablet. So the camera itself can track around. And so we're going to try to just kind of move it around and capture what it's like to have a day in the studio type of thing, right? So think of it, I guess, like Office Space style. You can just come up and talk to it if you want to. Vent your frustrations. No, don't do that. What's that?
This is going to be fun.
Yeah. So you'll see it. We'll try to set it next to Teams and be moving around throughout the day. But one of the things we've always wanted to do, and this is just an experiment on that, is to open up to the public what we do here, both for our own benefit, but also for your benefit, right? My holy grail type of thing is you go out and you apply for a job, and the people you're interviewing with are be like, oh yeah, I watched those live streams or something like that. It gives you that leg up. So anything that we can do to make this, what we do here, more public. What we have found here recently, you guys were here when Bassett was here, right? Like he went through as an alumni, and he pulled me aside afterwards. He goes, holy cow, this is so much different than what I remember. But he had never seen it. So he had this kind of bad taste in his mouth. He was like, oh, I'm excited now. I'm going to start talking about this. So that's what we're trying to do with different texts like this. So be looking for that. Just be aware it's going on. It shouldn't really change anything. And actually, I don't want it to change anything. I want you guys to do what you normally do. We just want to capture it and stream it. I think that's everything.
Yeah, you'll see me running around today videotaping and taking photographs of you guys working too. So if you swear, I will bleep you out.
Please our digital media documentarian.
Everyone be Mark.
That's the only thing that's killed me about not having my phones. I don't tweet near as much as I used to. I have to get back on. All right, so I think it's time to roll into presentations.
All right, leads, you know the routine. We'll start with Morpheus since Roger's sitting on the ground back there. Do adjust your camera when you come up here. Make sure that it's working.
Yes, get it off.
All right, cool. So we just made this in 20 minutes, so this is gonna be great. It's been a rough semester for me. I haven't really been here too often, so. Hi.
Lynn took my chair, so this is where I
Huh? Oh, unpack that? Yeah, probably. Hmm? Where did it go?
I wasn't given a fixed
Wolf level 2?
No, go down.
Morpheus?
Yeah, down.
Bottom. Okay. All the way down. Okay. Sweet.
I'll get you a nice one. It looks exactly like this and it'll be really cheap.
Hi all. I'm Roger Shulligan. And I'm not stressed out. Did you not copy this over?
Open up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you put it in the wrong folder. It's okay.
You ain't gotta yell at me.
Not yelling at you. Oh, we're not going to play that yet. You guys got to wait for that. That's exciting stuff, maybe. Okay, so build 2. I thought it was next week, but it's today. So we've been focusing on two forms, our slime and our wolf. And here's some pictures of 2 levels that are being worked on. One's much bigger than the other. The other one's more of like, let's test this idea, see if we like it. So it's more of a mechanical puzzle. The other one is more of this full experience that you play through. And it's still in a rough shape, but we're working on texture style and making it seamless. So we may be replacing a lot of this geometry here with the terrain with more like, I guess, rigid Wind Waker-esque geometry. So we might be playing with that, see what we think. But yeah, these are a couple of our levels that we've been working on. We have like 3 or 4. Here's some art. James gave me that dark picture, and he said it might be really dark, so it might just look like a black square to you. That's actually a...
there is something there, but it can't be square.
We actually just put...
From this perspective, let me tell you.
We actually just put that there to make it look like we have more. But,
Oh, that's smart. Smart.
But yeah, the other 3 are made by Emily. I don't know if she's in here. Ah. Gotta unconfirm her hours. But yeah, we're working on like a hub temple. So these columns, these walls, we're going to be assembling them into this hub temple where you can travel to different levels. It's kind of just for our demo. It's not really for the finished game, but just so we can get something out. For programming, I know a little bit more about programming because I'm a programmer, so this was a little easier for me to put together. I like to make things visual, but here's a bunch of text for you. So we have, like I said, we're working on the wolf and the slime, and we've been working on new abilities because we really want these forms to feel fun. So with the wolf, we have a long jump, and it's more of like a charged jump. We're kind of thinking maybe it should be charged, maybe it should be after you sprint, but that's been implemented so you can actually lunge across long distances. We also have a pollination. So for those who don't know, our wolf, he's like a forest wolf, and he's like he's I don't know if we have a picture of it in one of our other presentations, but he's made of like leaves and branches, and he actually has flowers on him. And these flowers can emit pollen and interact with the environment. So we're using that for puzzle design. The slime also has a trail, and this is kind of a prototype mechanic we're working on. we're thinking about using the trail to allow other forms to jump on it and lunge themselves further. So it's more of like something you can use with other forms, something we're seeing if we like. We also have a charge jump with him, and this is a little different than the long jump. It's vertical instead of horizontal, so you can get up higher. And you hold down the A and it like squishes him, and then he flings up. He can also push through grates, so if you see a grate in a level, you can push your slime through it. And a system we've been using for Morpheus, and this is where I come in. This is my big contribution. Is the waypoint move system. We were using game objects to place nodes in the world, and then you would drag that into a component, and it would render a line for you to see. I decided that that was way too tedious, and we needed a faster system. So I decided to learn how to extend the Unity editor, and now it's really simple to create these paths. So I have a video here that I've made showing off the system, and I'll kind of just skip through it and show some of the more important features here. This quality is terrible. There we go. So everything you see in the scene, that's not being used with gizmos anymore. That's being used with a scene extension script. And sorry, I'm throwing a lot of technical words out there. Basically allows me to hijack Unity's scene view and add my own stuff. So instead of using these game objects, you can see the hierarchy is very clean. Instead of using game objects, we use a bunch of vectors. And this is also more efficient because we're not wasting all this data for rotation and scale. We're just using what we need. And you can easily yeah, and you can see there's two rotation gizmos. There's two transform ones. So you have the object one, and then you have the waypoint. And you can see one moves the object, and the others will move the waypoint. So this is just a really convenient way for designers to quickly assemble their own waypoint systems. Our old system was terrible. It would take you a long time. And that's what we have on the programming side. And yeah, there's our social media. Please follow us. Now we're going to go to the build, where Dakota's going to play through, because he's the lead designer for this level we're showing off. This one is the big one you saw in the design slide, and I'm probably going to put Dakota on the spot because he knows a lot more about this level than I do.
You got this?
I got this. That big cylinder in the tree, I want you to use your imagination, guys. That's a tree. And that's your goal. So we want to make this place feel like a forest. So right now it's really barren. We're still in the process of doing set design. The textures are really realistic. We're actually going to be switching that over to something more like Wind Waker. I keep saying that. And I think I mentioned in the presentation as well, we want to do more rigid geometry. So we might ignore the Unity terrain system, and I might just quickly, like today, probably in the next hour, write a thing that exports the geometry out so we can just have the artist play with it. See if we can build something more like, because I don't know if you guys play Wind Waker, but they actually model out their islands in a separate program. So we're going to see what we can do with that, because I think this is just too smooth for our game. But you can see we have a lot of open space. So what I want to focus on is how can we fill this up with really fun things for the player to do. One philosophy that I've been trying to spread around the team for the last 3 semesters is playgrounds. We don't actually need things that finish the game. We just need something for the player to go to and enjoy with the forms that can also teach them, and then they can use those concepts to beat the game. So how has this been for you?
Like, what do you mean?
Like making this level. Tell me about it. Because I feel
fun.
like I'm a little out of the loop. But
It was good to get my hands back in engine.
he's shy. One big issue that he's been facing is there's actually 4 different terrain pieces here, and we do have a tool that lets you meld them together, but it's really ugly. So we want to get rid of all those seams. We want to make it feel like you're on a sky island, which you really can't do with Unity's system because everything's just squares with terrain. So we're going to try to solve that for the next, probably for the next sprint. So yeah, that's our build. Thank you. I'll give it a go for it. I'll just hop around the room today.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Bart Driscoll. I'm the project lead for Rain Rebellion. As you all know, this was a short sprint this time, only 2 weeks, but me and my team just kind of treated it as one big 6-week sprint. We really didn't stop working. Our goals for this small little sprint were to just start working on the new map idea, get ideas into engine, start playing around with the shape and feel of it, as well as do some more work on our UI user experience and get more work done on our character models and animations. So, John has worked tirelessly on getting us a more shaped out and thought out white box version of our map, which we had to tweak a little bit, change the size, change where we wanted everything, scale it down a little bit more because the original size felt a little too big. As you can see there, it's pretty symmetrical, but we wanted to also make it feel kind of actually like terrain in a garden. There's different tunnels that go underground and then loop back up to the top. There's 2 bases on either side, which should also be connected to the underground area. And then there's going to be a centerpiece, kind of a fenced off nice little hedge garden area with a fountain in the middle. Here's some of the props we had our artist Caleb working on. Just some things that we're going to be throwing around the level to add sort of a fanciness about it. It's supposed to be more of an elegant teaching, learning kind of meditation garden. Going to the characters, here's some of the mocapping animations that 3 of our artists have been working on for our more knight kind of character. Some need some work on it though. And programming side of things, it's mostly been back end for this sprint, but one of the things we were able to get done visually, programming wise, is adding these sort of halos or auras around our placeable objects to show the kind of range of their effect, whether it be their damaging effect on the arc trap up there or the healing effect around the medical device there. Going into next sprint, probably going to be continuing on the map, trying to get that as textured and as done as possible, getting it ready for playtesting, getting more of those animations cleaned up so we can actually throw them on characters and see how well they're going to work, and getting more props and actually set designing the map. Thank you.
My name is Alex Watson. I am the project lead for Operation Red Rhino, and this is our Milestone 2 build review. So what we were focusing on this sprint was getting the white boxing done for our 3 new levels that we're working on. James was working on the UI for the node selection widget. Our system designer, Eric, who is in here somewhere, there he is. He worked on getting our roll abilities all set in stone and our weapons list all set in stone so we could pass that off onto our artists and they could just knock those out as they see fit. Our 2 character artists, Brenda and Darby. I saw Darby. I don't think Brenda's in here. They've been working on the base meshes for both our allied soldier and our rebel soldier. So I'll be able to show those off a little bit later in the presentation. And then the big thing that we have been working on is kind of resolving some outstanding issues with our engine update. And that has actually not been fixed yet. So Chase and Charles are going to be working on that today, and hopefully we have a new build for the playtest. But right now we had to kind of roll back into our last working multiplayer build. So that's been a pain. So here is the white box for our base node, for our second base node, the allied base node. There's going to be 2 warehouses with kind of like a pipeline running through the middle of the map. And those are some of the screenshots of our current white box where we're standing with that. And we're ready to playtest that. So hopefully, again, we get the build up and running today so that everybody can playtest that map as well as this one, which is our Grenadier map that Alex is working on. Another Alex. He's not in here. But he's been spending a lot of time working on this, defining just how he wants the different roles to be implemented on this map and get the game mode all blocked out and ready for our online programmer Nathan, who's been working on our game modes, to get that in there. And that has like kind of he described it as kind of like a payload game mode. So he's actually working on getting a kind of a moving skeletal mesh through the level. So our node widget, that's what it looked like last semester. That was just some art that Charles, our lead programmer, threw in there. So that's why it's just kind of buttons and text, because that's how y'all do. Down here is what James has been working on. It kind of has, it's supposed to look like an old military map, so it kind of has like frayed, sort of burnt-ish edges and stuff on it. You can see like the terrain features in the background there, and then each of those you'll be able to hover over and it'll give you a description of what game mode it's going to be, what role you're going to get for taking that node, and a little bit extra information for each one of those. And it also counts which of your teammates has voted for which node. So that's pretty cool, and that is coming along, and that looks really awesome. Again, working in game if we can get that up and running today. Here's our finalized list for our first release for our weapons. We have 4 of these weapons done right now, so Tristan has his work cut out for him, but he'll be fine. He's been pumping out pretty much consistently two weapon models a week, so he's been working pretty hard. Here are our character-based meshes and our truck static mesh that Tristan worked on this last sprint. Darby was working on the one that is in ZBrush, so the one that's kind of like a reddish color there. That is our allied soldier, and then the other one is Brenda's militia soldier. She's actually at the point where she's putting clothes and stuff on that one. And then again, down in the corner there is Tristan's truck. He's working on sandbags right now and HESCO barriers. He doesn't know about the HESCO barriers yet, but it's sprint plan day, so surprise Tristan, you're not here. And that is all we got right now. Again, our build, we will have a working multiplayer build down there this afternoon. Hopefully it is just the 4.17 version, so that means they fixed all those issues. But thank you guys very much.
What's it? Alright, good morning. My name is Austin Hayes and I'm the creator of Call Center Simulator. This has been a short but interesting sprint, so I'd like to take you through some of the stuff that we've accomplished and kind of talk about where we're going. One of the things that we've really been pushing for over the last 2 weeks is figuring out what is going to go into our early access build for next year. And so we have a larger feature list, we had a larger GDD for the fully released game. Now we're having to scale that down and figure out what content we would want in there that we would pay for the game, you know, to play that specific content. And so one of the things we've been looking at is the UI. In VR, UIs can be non-traditional. So we're looking at a curved menu system for some of the UI concepts that we're putting together right now. As you can see, we've got a basic pause menu where you can see a list of players that are currently within the game. You've got your audio settings. You're able to quit the match if you are within a match at the time, able to quit the game. Again, we've got a little audio menu concept that we've been working on. And then we started working on our matchmaking menu concept. This is something that Josh has been championing since before we were greenlit the first time. The basic system is that there is a bulletin board. You'll see bulletin boards that'll have ads on them, right? You'll have flyers and every other thing. And so we're doing like a sticky note flyer system where you will have, say, in this one specifically, it's for a game mode we have called Dollar for Dollar. So you'll go to the bulletin board for Dollar. You will choose a team. You will pick up one of the sticky notes that we have on it. You'll throw it away. That'll signify that you are queued for that match. It's a pretty cool system. It worked pretty well in our original prototype. I'm pretty happy with it. So now that we've got a really good idea of what it's going to be, the programmers can start to implement that into the current build. In terms of design, we've also been working on building out some more environments. So last semester, as some of you saw, we had environments for each of the 4 game modes that we want to have in the game. Now we're looking at diversifying those game modes so that when people are playing, say dollar for dollar, they aren't playing in the same space every single time that they enter a match. So we're really kind of pushing to make sure we have a number of environments for each game mode that kind of breaks up our gameplay. Art has been huge. This was a 2-week sprint. However, we were running a little bit behind and we decided that we weren't going to deal with that shit anymore. So as you can see, we've got a water cooler, we've got a fire extinguisher, a fan. The fan is animated. All of these assets you can interact with. So you can pick up the coffee pot, you can flip the light switches, you can pick up the water drum from the water dispenser, whatever the hell that thing's called. In terms of art, we've also got a few more textured assets. So you can see we've got a conference table that I've got slightly stretched out. A speaker for that conference table, and then more assets. We're really, at this point, looking at finding the stuff that's going to make our world feel lived in. That's something that we focused on a lot with our original prototype, was making sure we had light switches and plugs in the walls, and just little things, little bits of detail. And so we're looking at that. We're also looking at some decals that are in process right now as well. So we're really excited about that. Again, you can see some of the assets currently untextured in the environments. We're working on getting those textures in today. In terms of programming, we are working on bugs right now. We have a gun that is in the process of getting to where we want it. We were having some issues, as some of you saw at the end of last semester, with our cocking mechanism kind of freaking out after you would use it. We have resolved that. Beyond that, we have been using Unity Colab as our source control. Anyone that's used Unity Colab knows it's a really good system. They also know that it's going away at the end of the month. So we had to find another option. One of the issues we had with Colab is that the schema scripts, the separate scripts we had to write for our online system, would not upload with Colab, which meant that we had to resolve errors every single time we brought stuff into the server build. So we've bought ourselves a Blade server. We're working on creating kind of our own source control system using GitHub, but kind of doing our own thing with it so that our schema scripts are also transferred there, and that's coming along well. We're also working on implementing sounds. We had messed with that a little bit. Now we're really trying to get in what we need for our released game. And again, our programmers are familiarizing themselves with the schema scripting language because that is new for many of them. That's where we're at right now. We are looking forward to this next sprint to really start getting in some of the updated gameplay features in terms of our programming stuff. And so I'm really looking forward to showing you guys the updated movement system and gun mechanics next sprint. Thank you so much.
All right, another round of applause for everybody who is hardworking. You deserve it. All right, thank you for joining us, distributed team members. We will see you during the sprint cycle.